Hello, everybody. Welcome to your daily pop of positivity. How is everybody? I was so inspired to read right now due to the fact that I had such a lovely afternoon and I got to witness some of the coolest things. Now, it is baby animal heaven around where I live. I don't know what is taking place over in our nature center in my backyard. We just had a mom with her 3 little skunks and they march all in a little line. It's the cutest, sweetest thing I've ever seen. And here is something that this may be just due to my energy and my movement, but I don't believe that baby rabbits, when they're on their own, have that fear factor kicks in yet, because they're so open to big human beings. Like, I was walking on my path and I see a mid-sized rabbit, it's probably like a small mother, and I move really slow and stuff. So, she sits, she eats her grass, she puts her head up, and then after I take a few steps, she hops away. Now I go around the corner and the nature center is just rich with all this new life and it's teeming with all these babies. So, I just stood still and I just started talking to it. And then another little baby came out and I was talking to it, had a little white spot brown, tiny, tiny feet, so little. And what happened was, the more I talked, the more it moved closer to me. And now it must have been, I could have reached out at one point and scooped it up. It was that close. So I'm talking to them and they're so cute. And I'm wondering if there is a certain age point or growth that they hit that then that fear is instilled in them, or if just with that babiness they've never encountered people yet, or what is going on. But I just love the fact that it just stood there and was moving closer to me the more I spoke to it. In fact, this gentleman came around the corner and he slowed down and he was about 20 feet away and he goes, "Oh my gosh, are you feeding them?" Because it was 2 little babies. I said, "No, I'm just talking to them." And he goes, "Wow, and they just stay there and they just come up to you?" And I was like, yeah, I don't know if because they haven't seen people before, they're just not afraid because they're so young. Like, babies are so trusting, And he's like, "Wow." And he goes, "That's some cool shit." And he starts laughing. And so each time I came around, I'd fill a leaf with water because it was hot out. So fun. They were everywhere and it was amazing. It was very magical. And I feel like I absorb a lot of good, wonderful energy when I'm out in nature and I get to see animals. So I definitely wanted to pull a couple cards and see what's in our pop. Now, what I'm going to do a little different today is for each of these that come up and the ideas and anything that comes through, I'm also going to pull a tarot card. Whoops. Whoa, almost took a nosedive. I am trying to get the lighting really, really awesome on this, but by doing that, I have the lamp leaning on it, so I don't want to send it flying. So what I'll do is just make sure it's a little better set there. I'm going to pull a tarot card on it as well, and just to be sure, I'm going to lock this down with a little leg switch right there. So when it comes to calm, choice, and direction, we're going to pull a tarot and see what messages come through for that. Okay, you guys? So for number 1, calm. This is another thing that I learned about myself today. In the nature center, it's very secluded. It's off this beaten track, and then it's this big ring that goes around, and it's wooded and it's filled with flowers and it's magical. But people, when they come around the corner, they're just right in front of you, and sometimes there's no one, sometimes it's a group, sometimes it's one individual, sometimes it's people photographing the birds. And I realized something, that I was glad that I possessed this. I was never startled by anything, because sometimes also the animals will just do a rush, a bunch of rabbits or birds will make all the grasses move, and I never got excitable or heart palpitations, or when I run into somebody, it's I always feel calm and safe and in balance. And I realize that that's part of my nature, that I don't have that flight kind of thing, like when I see somebody and I don't expect it, or I see an animal or whatever, that I don't feel like I'm going to be attacked, overwhelmed, or something bad's going to happen. In fact, I look forward to interludes with people and things like that. And I thought that is a wonderful mindset. Anything I encounter is going to be good. And I would hope, let's pull a card, and I hope you do that for yourself, that whatever comes around the corner, whatever I run into, it's going to be awesome. It's meant for me to meet this person. It's meant for me to see this animal. It's meant for me to have this kind of interaction with whomever, and not be a person, because you ever think you're just out in solitary environment and you run into people and people are because you don't have to converse. And then I ran into another person. It was just the cutest hi. I love when people say hello and you're out in nature. So let's see what your message is. How beautiful is this? The Sun card, you guys. I am optimistic. I appreciate all that I have. And by doing that, we can instill ourselves with a sense of calm. When we have gratitude and we have optimism, we realize that things that show up for us are meant to show up for us, and we can utilize them for our best outcomes. You know what I mean? Good weather. I can go for a swim. I can go for a walk. Not, oh, it's going to be so hot. You know, we go on that line of optimism that whatever is coming up is set up for us for winning adventures, right? And by appreciating all that we have, we definitely bring in a lot more. I definitely feel that the moment we get into gratitude and we feel the sun is shining on us and the universe is there to help us, more and more of that happens. So let's take a look at choice. This is huge for me because sometimes we need to be reminded we have a choice. We have a choice in the life path that we take, the attitude that we have, the weather we create in our own mind, right? Do you want a moody storm or do you want bright, beautiful sunshine with clarity? I can do what I want. Saying things aloud is definitely helpful for me. Like when I wake up, I'm like, man, am I excited I get this completely beautiful blank page to do anything I want with. And yes, it's not all going to be skyrocketing wonderful, dreamscapes and rainbows colliding into leprechauns and all that, because there will be moments and shifts and fatigue and other things that come in. But I'm going to utilize in my cycles throughout the day everything the best of my ability. When I'm feeling my best, I'm going to do a reading, connect with people. When I am feeling tired, I'm taking a nap, damn it. I'm going to look out for myself. I did exactly this today. I listened to my rhythms and I knew I had choices within that. And because of that, I'm feeling great. And now I feel ready and up and ready to do reads, even though it's like almost 9 p.m. I had a nice nap. I was out in the warm sun. I exercised like I said I would. I had a little fun indulgent, which was in the form of cheese and bread, which, hey, not great for me, but I wanted it. You know what I mean? All of that. And I just have a wonderful warm feeling being surrounded by all these great animals. And your comments, after I read your comments, you guys, I feel so uplifted. I'm so happy. So let's talk about this. I accept my situation without resistance. So sometimes we forget that we made a choice to be in that job, to be with these people we're hanging out with, to be in this environment. So because of that, we're going to accept the situation without any resistance. This could be somebody receiving something, like someone receives a promotion, somebody receives something ahead of you. It's like, let's be happy for them. There is enough to go around for everybody. We all make choices, and in our road sometimes we get beautiful rewards. Sometimes we're like, hey, where's the notification that I'm doing well, or a little whatever it is. That once we do that for ourselves, then we feel good. We feel well placed. We don't have to have all these accolades from everybody else and validation. Regardless of what's happening, I'm a little tired today. I accept that. What can I do to rectify that to the best of my ability? I don't need to pour 800 gallons of coffee down my throat and do things that are like just, trying to start my battery. It's like I can start with a mindset that energy is going to be provided for me when I need it. I'm going to do deep breathing. Oxygen, that is the one thing that can get going through those red blood cells, use those lungs, big gusts of fresh air. Be in things that in environments that inspire you. Nature does it for me. Fun comic shows do it for me. It lifts me up. I feel good. Whatever it does, whatever is and does come your way, just say, you know what? I understand this is temporary. Every single thing that we are invited to participate in life is temporary, even though it might not feel like childbirth, could feel like an eternity. And all of those things when you're in pain or something is happening, labor, that's why it's called labor, things like that. But knowing that all things are going to come to an end kind of makes the fact that we know that there is a finish line for that and makes it able to be endured, right? That kind of energy. And we have a choice. We always have a choice. If something starts to feel a little freaky deaky and we're not into it, we say yes to dinner, and all of a sudden people start fighting or arguing or getting dramatic. We can excuse ourselves at any moment and just say, this energy isn't for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to excuse myself. You don't have to over explain yourself or anything. Wherever you are, if you want to vacate that area, that position, you can do it. You always have a choice. In a relationship as well. Somebody's not treating you well, I think we need a timeout. Place of work, you are like low man on the totem pole, and they are just like, you feel used or overworked or whatever. Vacation time, or I'm sorry, I need to reduce my hours, whatever it is, you always have a choice. And people respect that. When you step into that power of owning your choices, like, no, I am not a doormat, I'm not a yes man. You get to kind of like forfeit that cloak of yes ma'am or people pleaser, and you're like, thank you. you protect your energy and you care for who you are and you go forward in this strong self that I do. I accept my situation without resistance, but I can change it at any time because I have choice. Now I love this direction. Let's just say you're looking at your compass and your true north is your life path purpose. What is in the way of that right now, and how can you remove some of those obstacles? For me, it's definitely to come up with great insightful reads, new understandings, all that. What gets in my way? Sometimes my ego's like, man, I deserve to go do this and that. And most of the time, it's like as soon as I remove the ego, I feel so good and light and free, and then I'm automatically in the right direction. Like, how can I help somebody? I know I can find the answers to that. I know I can research that, and this can benefit this person, so on and so forth. And then I'm in that direction. I feel good. I never feel better than when I'm doing like a fun little surprise for somebody, mailing them something, getting somebody flowers, doing something sweet, and definitely being an ear and a present listener for friends and family when they need it, because people really get moving a little too fast in this society and they forget to pause for people and animals and things that matter. When my cat needs some snuggins and lovin's, I'm there. Again, look at this. I know that the peaceful times will come. 6 of Swords, usually a woman in a boat with 6 swords behind her, leaving an unhappier shore to pastures new. So that's your new direction. So you are going to be able to identify, this energy right here, it's heavy, it's destructive, it's counterproductive, it is counterintuitive, it is not for me. I got to get my little Michael row my boat ashore, hallelujah, and go over there. For me, it is to get out of my bed or my little comfy zone or couch after a certain hour, of just kind of scrolling and doing my thing and getting on with a productive day, in the sense that where's the most healing, beautiful place for me? Out in my yard, out of this little space, moving a muscle, changing a thought. And also for me, a lot of times it's just listening to somebody who brightens my day, somebody who makes me feel better. I'll listen to 2 or 3 readers a day. I love Gregory Scott. I love me some Tori the Hope Dealer, Guided Intuition. If you guys haven't seen her, go see her. Just her vibe is like through the roof, freaking awesome. Absolutely in love with her whole vibe and everything about her. And also, I love Not Your Average Glow Up. I love to see her for, she does a lot of beautiful chats on mental health issues. And it's just very down to earth, wonderful advice, because sometimes we forget that human connection is absolutely everything. And when we move in that direction of helping, healing, loving, confiding, listening, all of that, we start to cycle up and life feels really good. So that is your daily pop, my loves. I would love you to comment down below if you're having any breakthrough moments too, where you feel like you're moving away from things that aren't good for you, people, places, things, attitudes, behaviors, and you're moving onward in the right direction. I love hearing about it. I have to do this for myself every day. I still struggle with my comfort zone and being like, I love doing this is fun. But I'll actually do things that I think are so fun and cozy, but I'll do them to a point where if I'm getting physically tired and I realize that I'm not varying my day, that it's not as exciting or fun, because doing anything to excess isn't exciting or fun. Eat too much, you have a stomach ache. You're in too much sun, you get a sunburn, right? All of that kind of thing. So it's like, let's have self-care. I love me some candy. I don't want to eat it till I feel nauseous. Some days I have done that. I'm serious. Ian used to buy 5-pound bags of gummy bears, and I never ate the whole 5-pound bag, but I remember once just having empty eating, watching TV, and then all of a sudden I thought, I don't know if you can just how it happens, but I'm sure kids have done this on Halloween. I just all of a sudden felt totally nauseous. I'm like, oh my God, I think I actually OD'd on these things. And I didn't eat them for a long, long time because of it. But this is just really rectifying any of those positions we get in that we think we're stuck in, but we absolutely are not. And we can always go elsewhere. So love and light, you guys.